Imagine standing in the Arctic. The temperature is 40 degrees below zero. The wind cuts through everything. You need shelter, fast. So what do? You build a house out of snow. It sounds completely backwards. How can frozen water possibly keep you warm? Shouldn't it make you colder? And yet, for thousands of years, the Inuit have survived the harshest winters on Earth inside structures made entirely of snow. So, what's really happening here? How does an igloo actually keep you warm? Let's start by clearing up the biggest misconception. An igloo is not made of ice, it's made of snow. And that difference is everything. Ice is dense, solid, and crystal clear. It conducts cold very efficiently. If you built a shelter out of solid ice, you'd freeze. But snow is different. Snow is full of air. When you look at a snowflake under a microscope, you see intricate crystals with space between them. When those flakes pile up and get compressed into blocks, all those tiny air pockets remain, trapped inside. And air is one of nature's best insulators. Think about a down jacket. It's not the feathers themselves that keep you warm, it's the air trapped between them. Same principle with a styrofoam cup. The material itself isn't magic, it's the air. Snow works the same way. It's roughly 90 to 95% trapped air. When you stack those snow blocks into a dome, you're essentially wrapping yourself in a giant thermal blanket. The walls don't let your heat escape into the freezing wind outside. But here's the thing, insulation alone doesn't create warmth. It only traps warmth that's already there. So where does the heat come from? You. Your body is constantly producing heat. Even when you're sitting still, you're radiating warmth like a little furnace. In a well-insulated space, that heat doesn't disappear. It stays. Traditionally, the Inuit also used a small stone lamp called a quollic, burning seal oil. Just that tiny flame combined with body heat could raise the inside temperature to around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 15 degrees Celsius. Outside? -40. That's a 100-degree difference, created almost entirely by insulation and a little bit of body heat. But there's one more layer of genius here, and it has to do with how the igloo is actually built. If you look at a cross-section of a traditional igloo, the floor isn't flat. The entrance is a tunnel that dips below the main living space. Why? Because cold air is heavy. It sinks. Warm air is light. It rises. By digging the entrance lower than the floor, the igloo creates a natural cold trap. The coldest air flows down into that tunnel and stays there. Meanwhile, the warm air floats up to the top of the dome, right where people sleep. The Inuit sleep on raised platforms, elevated into the warmest layer of air. They're not fighting physics. They're working with it. And there's one final touch. As you live inside the igloo, your body heat gently warms the inner walls. That warmth causes a thin layer of snow to melt. Then, when you leave or the temperature drops slightly, that moisture refreezes into a thin glaze of ice. That ice layer seals all the tiny cracks between the snow blocks. It makes the structure windproof. Now the igloo isn't just insulated, it's airtight. So, to sum it up, an igloo works because snow traps air. Air blocks heat from escaping. Your body provides the heat. The dome shape holds warm air at the top. The entrance traps cold air at the bottom. And over time, the walls self-seal into a perfectly efficient shelter. It's not magic. It's brilliant engineering using nothing but the materials the Arctic provides. The Inuit didn't just survive the cold, they turned it into their greatest tool.